watching the Frye Show on Rider Nation Station, brought to you by these following fine sponsors: Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller's Funeral Home, Eagles Lodge 767, Rabel's Auto Service, Plus One Professionals, Oglaze Equipment Rental, Midway Trailers, American Legion Post 323, Albert Sporting Goods, Family Audiology, Speckman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Spees Chiropractic, Varsity Lanes, Minster Bank, VFW Post 9289, and Guarneri Pizzeria.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Frye Show. I'm your host, Joe Hurlburt, alongside head coach Bo Frye. And, Coach, a little better atmosphere as we do the program this week. Big win at Shawnee, 41-14, so you have to be pleased with that. And first of all, congratulations on the big win.
Thank you. It's always easier to do the show when you win.
It's hard to believe, but we're in week 7 of the football season, so we're winding down. And let's take a look at the Western Buckeye League standings as we have them getting ready to go into week number 7. Of course, we'll look at the league marks. Now, Wapak is the only undefeated team in the Western Buckeye League. They're 5-0. They're followed by Van Wert and Salina with 4-1 league marks. And then Elida, St. Mary's, Defiance, 3-2. Shawnee, Kenton, OG, 1-4. And the Bath Wildcats still winless, 0-5 and 0-6 on the season. As far as overall records are concerned, there is no undefeated team in the Western Buckeye League. Wapak and Van Wert have 5-1 overall records. Salina, Elida, St. Mary's, Defiance all stand at 4-2. Shawnee, Kenton, OG 1-5, and as I mentioned, the Bath Wildcats at 0-6. And Coach, while we're on the overall records, and we talk about them, and then we'll get into looking at some of the scores and who plays this week, but it kind of brings up a point of the computer playoffs. Of course, last week, we got word, a viewer, that the computer rankings have come out. And I think last week, prior to the Shawnee game, we were sitting in 8th. So the hope is, with 16 teams, you want to be in the top 8.
That'll get you a first-round playoff game.
That'll get you.
So we talk to the kids, and you win the next 4, you get a home playoff game.
Okay, so we got to win out.
Got to win out.
We have a pretty good shot at it.
Got a shot.
Awesome. Well, last week, in case you didn't hear any of the scores, it was Salina shutting out Bath 29-0. Defiance beat Elida 31-14. It's Wapak over Kenton 39-8. Van Wert defeated OG 31-16, and we followed that score a little bit last week, and OG hung in there with them for a half or 3 quarters or so. And of course, St. Mary's win over Shawnee 41-14. This week in the Western Buckeye League shapes up like this: Defiance will be at Bath, Wapak at Elida, Shawnee at Van Wert, Salina at OG, and we're going to talk a little bit later on Kenton coming in to Grand Lake Health Systems Field to take on the Rough Riders. But Coach, before we get into the clips and things like that, let's talk a little bit. We haven't talked about them for quite a while. The other programs that are taking place from your junior high on up.
Yeah, so our 7th grade, we'll start at the bottom up. Our 7th grade's undefeated. Had a few tight games, but they're very well coached down there, and big-bodied kids that play extremely hard. So our 7th grade's undefeated. Our 8th grade's undefeated. They've had a couple close ones with Wapak and Shawnee, but they're also undefeated. Our freshmen, I think we played 5 games. We're 3-2 at the freshman level. Our JVs got beat on a Hail Mary last Saturday. Yeah, they are 3-3. They lost to Piqua, Wapak, and then got beat on a Hail Mary against Shawnee. And then varsity were 4-2.
Let's talk a little bit about going back to and clarify this, because this was kind of new to me. The 7th grade program is not necessarily part of the junior high program. It is part of the
midget program. So they're not a school-sponsored sport, but they're a club sport. But they dress in our locker room. They practice on our practice fields. So they are connected in some way. School doesn't provide them with money or coaching stipends.
Okay, but they have high school coaches. I mean,
they have junior high coach, or they have midget football coaches. Okay. So, but they still have to go through all the paperwork, and they play other 7th grade school sponsored programs.
And of course, at that particular level, they are also learning the system, the terminology, the same as it would be from junior high on up.
They all run the wing T. They all run some version of our defense.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into the clips. Of course, the Rough Riders defeated Shawnee 41-14, and of course, when you look at the Rough Riders offensively, 399 yards of total offense. We just couldn't pull out another yard to make it around to round it off to 400.
I didn't even know.
But anyhow, 399 yards. Of course, keep in mind St. Mary's is the number one rushing team in the Western Buckeye League, and 51 rushing attempts, 390 yards. Let's take a look at some of the footage from last Friday night. This is Braden Sullivan. He picks up the Rough Riders' first down of the ball game. Good run.
It was a good surge up front from our left side. I didn't think it was our best offensive performance on Friday night. I thought we were a little high up front. I thought that we didn't finish blocks at times, but we did meet the 350 rushing goal. So that's always the goal, and we always want to get there. I just think that we need to do things a little better up front.
Here's a name we haven't called too much this season. Dominic Osborne got an opportunity to get into the ball game, and here is his first carry. And I'll tell you what, he's a good one.
Now's about the time where you see sophomores start to emerge up and start playing varsity football. And Dominic, he lifted with us all off season. He's not a normal sophomore. We thought he would play a little varsity football by the end of the year, and he's definitely taken some reps for guys that are trying to play better on defense.
This is Colton Mabry. I think this is his first carry. Colton finished the ball game with 6 carries for 39 yards. His longest was a 25-yarder. Yeah. I think it's this one right here.
Yeah, Colton only plays halfback, so that's definitely one of those things that he can do a lot of things, and he's still a sophomore. And he definitely runs extremely hard, and we really love Colton for everything that he does, from blocking to faking to carrying the football.
Now, this particular play here, we talked a little bit about it all season long, and you mentioned it, and you talked about finishing, and we got to finish. We get opportunities, we got to finish. That was a perfect example of it right there, is that Rough Riders had the ball inside the 5-yard line and wasn't able to put 6 on the board. But we got to put when
100%.
is given to us, we got
all 11 have to execute, and then Cody turned the wrong way. It was 4th and goal on the half-yard line. You can't turn the wrong way. He's got to be a better wing T quarterback and turn the correct way if we want to continue to win. But we're very aware of that, and he'll get better.
Yep. This is Jamal Kessler. This is a good play. I believe he takes him down from the backside, I believe, on this particular play.
Yeah, Jamal's playing extremely hard. Jamal got better this week. You can tell that. He's playing with a motor. The entire D-line was playing with a better motor. I love it. Defenses, when they're playing with their motor, it's fun.
Now, he lines up at the left defensive end spot. He just runs around the tackle and just chases this play down from the backside.
Yeah, it was, and this is the next play. I know it's the same play.
Yeah,
but
play.
Yeah, the entire D-line was in on that one. So when those guys are dominating up front, great things happen.
This is a cool pick 6 by Kevin Perry. He was just, I think Jay Schaefer got his hands up, tipped the ball, and Kevin Perry picked it up. And
yeah, defensive touchdowns are a lot of fun, aren't they?
They are.
I enjoy them. It's a lot easier to play offense when the defense is scoring.
And I think we had a couple of them.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, So the more that we can do of that, honestly, we dug ourselves a pretty big hole in the turnover ratio. So we need those guys to execute on defense.
This is the same play, just from the end zone view. You can see Schaefer blocking it, and Kevin Perry just
sometimes
takes it in.
Right place, right time.
Absolutely.
Maybe said his prayers right?
Must have. This is Logan Rush, special teams, point after. It was good.
Yeah. Rushy, man, he can put it through. I really like him, and he continues to do good things. Tried to kick him off a little bit, and it was a little off there, but he definitely puts it through. Big points.
Yep. This is still the defense. Jay Schaefer, you see him there lined up, number 32. This is a big play.
It's time.
As he runs this down.
It's time for those seniors to make more plays on defense. Yep. And you're seeing Jace do that. He's got to each week.
He's consistent.
Yeah, he is.
He's consistent.
Yes.
And you ask him to do a lot.
We do.
He punts the football. Yeah. He kicks off. He plays defense. He plays offense as well.
Right now, we're asking him to do a little less. We want him to play the end.
Exactly.
Better, So that's a big thing.
This is a good hard-nosed run by Colton Mabry. He just puts his head down, just levels that Shawnee defender.
He's a physical kid.
Absolutely.
Physical kid. When he runs like that, good things happen.
Here's the patented trap play. Aiden Hinkle on a trap play, right up the middle. Nice gain.
Yeah, it was a good run by Aiden. It was well blocked by the right tackle and tight end. So.
Aiden finished the night with 163 yards, 14 carries, 70 yards was his longest run, 2 touchdowns. Tell you what, it's hard to criticize 11.6 yards per carry.
No, he's running hard, and honestly, sometimes those holes were pretty big, and he was hitting them right. Yeah. So,
and of course, he is the Western Buckeye League's leading rusher as we get ready to go into week number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Riders put together a nice drive, finished up here with a Cody Wallace quarterback sneak for 6 points.
Yeah, good surge, but we got to run our feet up front. It's just, I told you, I didn't think it was our best night up front, and we got to get back to playing better football up front.
This is a kickoff return for the Rough Riders. Rough Riders special teams, especially the kickoff returns, are getting better and better.
They're getting there, yeah. It's I don't know. They're still working on this. I mean, we're still a step away. In a lot of years, we've been very dangerous on our kickoff returns. It's a lot easier when we start with the ball on the 40-yard line and not the 20-yard line. So,
this is a nice punt and roll by Jay Schaefer. Anytime you play on artificial surface and you get the roll, and it's going to roll a long way for you.
58 yards, I think, was the total here. And that great things happen when you pin them back here. I think the next play we had a turnover for a touchdown. So it's hard when you're playing offense for other offenses when they're playing inside the 10, the 20. It's field position football.
Here's a fumble by Shawnee and a scoop and score.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun for me on the sidelines when these things happen. So I love it. Like I said, these guys were challenged in the secondary, in the linebacker core and the defense the week before, and they really responded. When you score 2 touchdowns on defense, great things happen.
Absolutely. This is the same play that we just saw, but it's from the end zone, so you'll see. I think Kessler?
Jacob Kessler. He's also a sophomore. So, we got some young guys really filling in some roles right now in making plays, which you love to see from a program standpoint. And they got to continue doing that. It's time for them to grow up and really play a lot of football.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Jay Schaefer, we just talked about him, makes a big stop here.
Yeah, Jace is playing pretty good defensive end right now. He's got to continue to. It's a great sack. That's a great leverage and wrapping around the end. And it's all Dylan Gieske-ish from last year.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
and it's really doing the little things right. It's doing fundamental football, shedding your block, and running to the football.
It's all technique and fundamentals. Yeah. We're not trying to recreate the wheel around here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's a 71-yard touchdown by Aiden Hinkle. This is his longest of the ball game, and this just once he got through the secondary, that was you just hope that he doesn't fall.
Yeah. Well, Eli Rickard almost made the tackle first. It's a good burst by Aiden. Something you haven't seen from him in his years. He's really moving better, and he's got to continue to do that. So.
Here's your special teams on kickoff. Of course. You started off kicking the football with Logan Rush, and then Jay Schaefer, I think, because maybe a little bit more distance.
Yeah, we wasn't getting it deep enough, and he was in practice all week, so it just takes time and the reps, and Jace can boom it, and we just probably need to settle down on that. And I really liked our coverage. I just didn't like our kicks. Our coverage was very good all night.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
This one here, this is going to be tough to see from
this angle,
but I'll tell you what, we had a great shot Friday night on this particular interception by Keegan Sharp. Of course, the pole's in the way.
It was a heck of a pick.
But we had the replay, and you could see right exactly where the foot was. It was great coverage. According to the guys in the truck, one of the officials came by and asked if we had that, and asked if he made the right call.
Yeah.
And we said,
he did make the right call.
There was a couple of other people that stopped by the truck to say, was they in? And say, yeah, that was it. Yep. And he was in.
That was a great pick. Yeah, that's a lot of fun and a lot of great to see because Keegan's a heck of an athlete. We're very aware of that.
And getting his foot down.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
We saw that last year from Keegan late in the year. He was making all kinds of crazy picks against the CJs of the world and that kind of stuff. But he needs to settle down and play some great defense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This is just good pursuit by your defense.
Yeah, and you're starting to see some fills from linebackers. A lot of that's coaching.
Yeah.
We're coaching them better. Right. And when they're coached better and they understand their role, great things happen.
This is Jamal Kessler on the defensive side of the football. Comes in, makes a big sack. He played well.
I really like Jamal, and I really like his effort all the time. He gives great effort, and if he continues to give great effort, great things are going to happen. And he gets excited. That's fun too, So I love guys that get excited. We love guys in this program that get excited and fly to the football.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a nice punt return by Keegan Sharp. Almost busts this one.
Yeah. Like I said, Keegan's a very good athlete, and he's got to do things on kickoff returns and that sort of jazz. We've got plenty of running backs.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
We need him to do those things. We need him to play great defense, and we need him to play great special teams first and foremost, and we'll get him the ball some on offense.
This is the same clip, just the same play, just from a different angle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, big punt returns are fun to watch too, aren't they? I mean, those are where the big plays come.
Mm-hmm.
We're simplistic on offense, and the big plays come from your special teams and your defense.
Right.
So.
And I don't think people realize just how much a factor your special teams play is in the course of a ball game.
They're a third of the game, and the more we work them, the better we coach them, the better results we get.
And special teams also has a lot to do with field position.
Yeah,
they can
100%.
make it or break it. You can start deep, or you can start with decent field position at the 35 or 40.
We've really, testament to our coaches, we really went back to the basics and put a lot of fundamental effort into coaching special teams. We need to continue to.
I think this is one of the first counterbacks that we ran. I think Keegan Sharp's going to run this one. And
you're seeing Sharp on offense, lowering his shoulder at the end, which was nice. Got to get some guys finishing blocks up front, but we're close to taking that to the house.
Good eyes. I mean, he sees the field well.
He's patient, yeah. He's got wheels, which is great.
He does.
Yeah.
There's another run by Aiden Hinkle offensively, and
another touchdown. You see him just patient through the hole and then bursts once he sees the hole. So it's nice when there's no one there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Caden Sharp.
Yeah, you're hearing the same names again, aren't you? Yeah, some of these guys are starting to reemerge and show up again, right? Which is what we need. That's a great play by Caden.
Yep,
he's a heck of a tackler, Caden, and he needs to continue to play. And we've done a lot with him, and we probably need to do less. We need to get him playing great defense, So,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another nice run by Keegan, brother, on a punt return.
These guys are fun kids, They play hard, and that's always fun. It could have blocked that one almost, huh?
I was going to say after let's run this one back and just see how close we were to possibly blocking that one. Is it? Do you tell them to go?
Well,
for it,
they can. They're check guys. They're check
are?
guys. Earlier in the year, we got one faked against Defiance, and we didn't have check guys. So they have to be the check guys first. But I guess if they could block it, they should block it.
I mean, he's like right
but
there.
You also don't want to rough the punter.
True.
Yeah. So
True.
It's a fine line we're walking. So especially when you can do this, right here. So,
exactly.
Yeah. So it's good. That's just good athleticism by Keegan. I said, great kid, comes to work every day, a lot of fun to coach. We have to keep it simple for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Here's your touchdown pass, the one touchdown pass that Cody had, and the one completion. This is a 9-yard pass to
one throw of the night, baby.
Yep, Sullivan.
Good average, right?
That's pretty good.
1 for 1 for a touchdown.
That's pretty good.
That's
No
all
picks,
right.
touchdown.
Yeah.
Quarterback rating goes up a little bit.
We throw a lot in practice.
Do you?
Yeah, all the time. It's just sometimes we don't do it on Fridays.
This is a great stick by Tristan Gardner. I tell you what, he comes up, flies to the football, and boy, he levels this receiver.
Yeah, when you're when you know what you're coached to do, and great technique, great technique, great fundamentals, you can make big plays on defense.
I think the hardest thing for a defensive back is the timing of it.
100%.
If you get there a little bit too soon, it's going to be pass interference. So you got to kind of time it all out.
I'll tell you, I would never want to play DB. I would never want to coach DBs. That's one of the hardest positions to coach. But when they get it, it's fun.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. This is Caden Sharp with a nice pickup as well.
Yeah, we started to play Caden at some fullback late in the game, and he can do this. Obviously, you saw it late in the year. Last year, we started to play him at a little fullback. He's a good kid. He runs hard, and he's patient, and good things will happen, and continue to rotate him in on there.
I think this is one that we talked about, a play defensively that you said we got to finish plays.
Yeah.
This is an obvious one.
Yeah.
This is one that I thought Hunter Mabry should have just brought him down, but somehow the runner, and give him credit, broke the tackle right there.
You got to get him on the ground. You got to get him on the ground. Got to finish the play. That's just what we're about and what we coach.
I was a little disappointed because that led to their score.
Yeah.
Which means now there's no more running clock.
No more running clock. So. Hey, I wasn't in any hurry to get out of there. So.
Right here is just getting some new people into the ball game. And
it's a Schmidt kid. He's a young guy. He's a freshman. Heck of a fullback. I'll tell you what, he carried the ball about 30 times on Saturday in the JV game, then went to freshman game on Monday and carried it about 20 more. So he's getting a lot of reps down there, and he's really getting better. He's gotten tough. Really? Great kid. So he's definitely a future kid that you're going to hear about in the future.
And this is Noah Dixon. This is our final clip. Noah Dixon.
Also a great kid, playing on the JV squad. Needs the weight room bad, but good kid, and he'll play in the secondary for us next year, and he'll play some running back for us next year.
Could use about another 20 pounds on him.
Yeah, he needs the weight room.
He's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore, sophomore, good kid. He's got time to grow and evolve.
And you look at it, you got a lot of young kids, and a lot of young kids are getting some reps on Friday nights. That's a big thing.
That's a factor,
and then you got kids like Colton Mabry, who's going to be similar to what Aiden Hinkle is. You're going to hear his name for another 2 more years because Aiden started as a freshman. And so
Wallace is still a junior. Yep. LeClaire's still a junior. So you've got some pieces. You just got to make sure the parts all come together after this year.
Well, that's a look at last week's win over the Shawnee Indians, 41-14. The Rough Riders come out on top. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at this week's matchup as the Kenton Wildcats come to Grand Lake Health System Field right after this.
You're watching the Bo Frye Show on Rider Nation Station, brought to you by these following fine sponsors: Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller's Funeral Home, Eagles Lodge 767, Rabel's Auto Service, Plus One Professionals, Oglaze Equipment Rental, Midway Trailers, American Legion Post 323, Albert Sporting Goods, Family Audiology, Speckman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Spees Chiropractic, Varsity Lanes, Minster Bank, VFW Post 9289, and Gwinneri Pizzeria.
Welcome back to the Bo Frye Show. I'm Joe Hurlburt alongside head coach Bo Frye. And Coach, the Kenton Wildcats come into Grand Lake Health System Field this Friday night. And, of course, Kenton not the high-powered offense that we're used to seeing in years past where they just throw, and throw some more. But, they're struggling somewhat. They're 1-5 overall, 1-4 on the Western Buckeye League. Lost to Kenton 39-8 last Friday night. So what is your assessment of the Kenton Wildcats when Cody Wallets lines up and your offensive line lines up? What can they expect to see defensively from Kenton?
Well, defensively, the entire program, a testament to Coach Turner. I know they've struggled a little bit, but they play extremely hard. There's great tradition in Kenton. It's almost like when we were struggling here and trying to get it back on track. The kids are playing hard. Yeah. They're young. They're fighting, and they're going to win in the future. It's just they're young and they're fighting. We got to make sure we come out in our P's and Q's because they're hungry to win and they're playing hard. They're not laying on the field. They're not wimping out. They're not all injured. All right, so they're fighting through here. So we have to make sure we're coming out ready to play football, or else we're going to get into a match we don't want to be in. And we got to make sure that we execute, step with our correct feet, do the technique that we're coached to do.
Now, when Jay Schaefer and Kevin Perry and crew line up defensively, What kind of offense do you expect them to see? A lot of times they'll run, three wides to one side, maybe one or two to the other. Quarterback by himself. Is that what you're?
Well, they're still in the spread, so they're all still the Kenton spread, but they got a running back in the backfield now, so they will run it a little bit, but they're going to throw it. That's what they want to do. It's a la what we like to do. We like to run the ball, so they haven't went too far away from their bread and butter, right. And obviously it's something we're going to have to execute on defense to make sure we're stopping them.
Absolutely. Well, we'll wish you the best of luck Friday night against the Kenton Wildcats. Don't forget, it's the Hall of Fame game. St. Mary's Rough Riders, the Kenton Wildcats. Rider Nation Station will be on with the Hall of Fame pregame show around 6:30 with the induction ceremonies and things of that nature. So we hope you tune in for that. Also want to remind you, Zach Farrell and Mark Sisko have rules of the game as well as of our new program, Third and Long. We hope you enjoy that. You ever caught that?
I've caught a few times, yeah. They're good people, good guys, man. I pick a little up from those guys all the time.
Some stories of past. So we hope you'll join us on Rider Nation Station. For head coach Bo Frye, I'm Joe Hurlburt. We'll see you next week. So long, everyone.
You're watching the Bo Frye Show on Rider Nation Station, brought to you by these following fine sponsors: Buffalo Wild Wings, Miller's Funeral Home, Eagles Lodge 767, Rabel's Auto Service, Plus One Professionals, Oglaze Equipment Rental, Midway Trailers, American Legion Post 323, Albert Sporting Goods, Family Audiology, Speckman Automotive, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Spees Chiropractic, Varsity Lanes, Minster Bank, VFW Post 9289, and Guineri Pizzeria. Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.